Okay, so I'm in my car at the recycling center. If you can see through my windshield. And it's a little bit busier than I was hoping. It's always busy though, which is actually a good thing because people are doing their recycling. But I'm trying to get over my shyness of vlogging or going out in public, because I want a little more active content on here. So let's just see how it works with me going to recycle this box. Okay, we'll give it a shot. See how many steers I get, but it's part of life. Okay, bye. Okay, gonna go recycle this box on camera in front of a lot of people. But you should do your recycling. Well, really, I shouldn't tell people what to do or what not to do, but I'm going to recycle this box. Ooh. Oh, gosh, I got my camera a little close to my face. Saw a little too much of me, didn't you? Oh well. Okay, so that was errand number 1. Let's see if I can accomplish anything else. That might be unlikely, but we'll try. All right. See you in a minute. Okay, so I finally made it to my destination after a lot of traffic, and just wanted to point out that it is rush hour, and sitting in traffic is really difficult, and because of the sitting. And I just had some donuts, a couple of the big kind of donuts that I talked about yesterday, and or whenever in the other video, and you know, I'm just sitting, and but that's part of the process, so I got to really learn how to do that. Now, I do need some things from Target, so I'm going to go into Target and see if I can find those things. I'm going to take my camera with me and see if I can capture any footage inside there, just as a way of trying to get a little bit less inhibited, and just, you know, see if anybody has a bad reaction to that. Of course, I'll turn it off. Yeah, we'll check it out. Okay, come along with me. And I'm sorry if there's a reflection in my glasses, but I have to have them on for this episode because I got to get myself in the store, and without them, I'm no good. Okay, see you in a second. Bye. The purpose of this mission is really to get new clothes, because I've grown out of some of my other stuff, and so I've already done this before, and I have to pretty much stick to a budget. So I'm going to Target. It's always a good go-to place to get new clothes when you grow out of them. So with every stage of the journey, you get new clothes. So I'm kind of hiding in the socks area. You might think that I have a thing about footwear, but I don't. Anyway, I'm gonna buy some new clothes. So I'm looking for shorts still because it's very hot. But if you're older like me, you wonder, why did all the shorts get so short? I kind of don't want them that short. What happened to like Bermudas? Anyway, this may be a little bit of a problem for older people. Just go with what's comfortable. I'm gonna go look somewhere else. Maybe some capris or something. But definitely with an elastic waistband. All right, search continues. Okay, so I didn't do so awesome at Target because, sorry, I'm just looking around for cars that might run me over. But didn't do so awesome because I'm just not gonna go the short route. It's just not today. Sis, not today. I just, you know, I'm gonna have to, you know, go with my current fashion, which is a little bit more blousey, a little bit more flowy. So maybe another place like Old Navy, somewhere within the budget. But it's all part of the process. And it may be a little frustrating, but you know, it's okay. all trying to build new identity, new me, and for this phase, no shorty shorts. Maybe for the rest of the enduring time, no shorty shorts. Okay, so as you can see, I ran a couple of errands and I went to Target, and I didn't have much luck at Target, which is just, par for the course. Some styles, some sizes just aren't available, and so you just gotta go with something different. Right now I'm just going to be toting around the old stuff and making the best use of it as I can until I can get something new that's more comfortable. But the other thing that I wanted to bring up right now, when I have a little bit of a moment, is a wise friend brought up something to me, kind of called me a little bit on something, and that is in the video that I made about the socks, shoes, and donuts. The footage that I took outside of the donut shop, which was totally delightful to do, but my friend pointed out, and she's very wise in doing this, that what's weird about that is that I didn't go in. Now, of course, I'm too shy to go in there with a camera and be like, hey, let me see your donuts and let me buy some, and do all that like people do on their cheat day videos and those kind of things. But the point is that the message, it almost looks like an old school, old-timey, kind of classic anorexic message, and that is to kind of hover around the edges and not go in to the places that we really want to go. And so I just want to bring that to your attention as well, that while that footage was meant just to show some place that I do actually go into, it also can symbolize something that anorexics typically do, or people in restrictive eating disorders, or people that are constantly dieting and suffering from it. And that is not allowing yourself to go into and partake of the good things that are offered in certain places. So, and that's kind of if you really kind of want to get kind of deep about that, that's kind of a sad and sort of a dark place to be, always kind of hovering on the outside and not really partaking of anything that you really want or that is pleasurable. That's not to say that my whole 40 years has been spent like that, but a good deal of it has. So I just think those were really wise words for my friend to bring up to me, and I think that they are valuable to pass along. Now, the good news is that in the here and now, I do go into the donut shop a lot, and they know me, and they're very kind to me in there. They don't know what I'm about, why in the world is this girl buying all those donuts? And I kind of have had to get over a little bit of shyness about that, about me being in there all the time and buying all these donuts. What is she doing? Well, I'm eating them. And but at this point, it's kind of like, hey y'all, I'm here. By the way, yes, I'm from Nashville, so I'm going to say y'all, and those kind of traditional Southern little phrases, you're going to hear them from me. So that is a good thing now, that I'm friends with the people there. I've gotten over the shyness about being a frequent flyer, and I do go in. But that's the thing, is to actually break down the barriers and not hover on the outside and not be in that dark place where we're always on the outskirts of stuff. And I'm still trying to do that in other areas of my life. As an older adult, recovering, I've burned some bridges. That is, especially in the social world. I have some just amazing friends from high school that I grew up with, who are the best people in the world, and they still are my friends, but I haven't really regularly contacted them for years. And that's all me. That's all part of my own issues that go along with this sort of restricted nature in which I've lived. So it's another part of the journey that I kind of want to conquer, is kind of getting back in touch with those folks and with those friends, and saying hello, going out to lunch, actually eating with them. That'd be a huge thing. But actually just contacting them will be a first. One of my friends' birthdays is September 1st, so I should make that a goal, is to contact her and say hello, and maybe make a date to get together with her, because she's one of my all-time besties. And me and motors, I swear. What can I say? I get things revving up whenever I go outside. Just that kind of girl. Anyway, oh Lord, now I can smell the fumes. Okay, I guess that means it's time to cut and move on. Until next time, see you guys. Okay, so it's the next morning, and I decided that I would be a bold and brazen being and try to walk into Five Daughters with my camera and just go through the door. And I did. But I did also ask if I could do filming in there, and you can't. Not without special permission from the owners and stuff. And I do get that, because they get a lot of famous people that go in there, like celebrities and stuff, and they just want to maintain anonymity in there, and I get that. It's kind of, bold and brazen, a being of me to try to go in there with a camera. However, I did go in there and buy donuts, and so I did want to show that to you as a way of just showing that I am actually getting what I want. And yes, I do eat these. So I'm going to try to do this unawkwardly. Yesterday, my shots at the recycling center were like not shots at all, but we'll see what we can get, and I can show you my donuts that are sitting next to me in the car, that are the result of my actually going into the store just now. So here we go. So we're going to pan down, and hopefully you can see the box. Can you see the, is that the box? Oh, there's the box. That wasn't the box. And I guess the box is upside down, so let me turn it around here like that. Oh Lord, this is awful. There we go. There's the box. And, oh, this is such bad photography. Oh. Okay, so hold on. Let me get the shot of the donut. Okay, so there's the basic layout of what I bought. Now, I'm a cream-filled type of girl, and today they had not only the Boston creams, which are in the back there, but they had brownie batter cream-filled, and I'm all about chocolate and chocolate cream. So I said, hit me up with those. So that's kind of a new thing. I'm very excited. And I may not eat this whole box today. Some days I do eat the whole box. Yeah, probably half of it will be destroyed today, along with a lot of other good food. So I don't want to emphasize food too much, but I also want to just, show, just for folks that are a little nervous about eating lots or what types of foods they're eating, that, this is the way it goes. This is what I'm craving, and so this is what I'm giving my body, among many other things. Okay, check out. Hello once again. I'm back, and this last little bit of footage is meant to be basically a consolidation of the whole montage of clips that I took both yesterday, which was August 15th, 2019, and then a little bit this morning, August 16th, 2019. Now I hope you can see me okay. It's a little bright and the exposure is a little strange, but we'll just work with it. I've got my 5-year-old camera that's been in my trunk for 5 of those 5 years, so it's not the best shooting device out there, but it will have to do. Now, besides extreme close-ups of my face that you saw in the clips that I took yesterday, as well as general camera daftness. I do hope that you took away some things from the video montage. The first thing is that I wanted to show that I am building a little bit of an existence and a little bit of an identity, you know, basically from the ground up, with really, really random bits of this, that, and the other, and they're small things. Just like, you know, recycling and going to buy clothes that are in a size or two larger because I'm growing out of the old ones. And by the way, I will have to redo that. When I started this journey, I thought that I would have to get new clothes once. False. You need them more than once because the body just keeps growing, and that's just part of the whole deal. So we'll just keep going to Target and, you know, work within the budget, get a couple of items that are comfortable for each phase. But that first part is basically all about just building up with the bare minimum and the bare basics of things and activities, and not with food, that's a different issue, but with just the basic little things, just to kind of get out there and be amongst people, but also not be out there exercising or anything like that. The second bit that I hope that you can take away from what I filmed yesterday was that part in the park where I talked about restriction and how pervasive restriction is, especially for people that are older, who've had a restrictive background or anorexia, and who've had it for decades or many, many years, and how our lives have kind of shrunk. Restriction is so pervasive, it gets into every portal it can. And it not only takes over our body and mind, but it gets into all the way that we live, which, you know, from our career to social, those kind of things. With some of those big ticket items like career and social interaction, those might be slower to kind of develop. And I'm telling myself this because right now I've got a full plate enough, with no pun intended, with food. With getting this whole body working. And so my primal part of my brain is screaming at me, food, 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 as I've mentioned before in other videos. That's basically where I am right now, and where I've been for nearly 2 years. And it's just going to take time. But there are these other areas of our lives that have been shrunk, at least mine have. And I'm going to work on tinkering with that, especially the social stuff, as I go along, because that's a necessary part of getting away from the restrictive personality and the restrictive identity that I've had, to moving into something that's a little looser, a little freer, and hopefully a little happier. The last part that I wanted to bring up is that I created this channel, as I've said before, because I noticed that there wasn't a whole lot of content out there on the internet or on YouTube for folks that are recovering from anorexia or restricted background, who are following the methods propounded by Tabitha Farrar and Kayla Rose Katecki and Elisa Orris. What happened is, when I started this journey with my coach, I was excited, yes, but then I started gaining weight and I started eating a lot of food and then sitting, but, you know, because I just cut out all activity as much as I could. I still sneaked some stuff in because I wasn't perfect, and I'm still not. But I started to panic once the weight gain came on, and I can go into full-on anxious panic mode pretty bad. And so to kind of control that, I would run to the internet and watch videos made by people in recovery. And those really do help. They really, really do. But I found myself telling myself as I watched these things, yeah, but that doesn't apply to me because I'm old. I'm old and I'm short. I'm only 5'3" and I'm old. As if that makes much difference. Well, I really don't think it makes much difference in terms of the whole philosophy that Tabitha and Kayla Rose and Elisa propound. I think that we still eat as much as we want, as much as that primal part of our brain is saying, and it may be tons and tons, and it may be all day, every day. I think that all those rules apply, same rules apply for no matter what height and no matter what age. But here's another part that I wanted to add to that, is that I think that for folks that are in it, or who have been in it, the restrictive phase for many, many years, basically all of our lives, it may take a little longer to reach that happy place that our body really ideally wants to be at. I'm not saying eat less, I'm saying eat more. It may take longer of eating more, of eating huge amounts. It may take longer. It may take, that extreme mental hunger may last longer. And the body may take longer to fix stuff. All those decades of torture, and I hate to put it that darkly, but that's basically what living that restrictive life has been, is a form of torture. So all of that has done untold things to our body. Some of them we probably know about already, but just we have conditions that have arisen and that are just there. But there are other things too, and so I think that it might take a while for all of this to get regulated. And so as I go along, I'm going to keep eating the donuts, and because that's just happens to be exactly what my body is asking for, donuts and brownies and things like that. And I do eat other things too to try to have some balance, because I just don't want to have complete, baked goods all the time. So I do throw other things in there for balance. But my body may be wanting all that and for a long, long time, and it may shift and want different things, but it may want large amounts for a long time, and it may gain up and up and up and up, and into an way uncomfortable zone for me, and I'm going to live through it. I am going to live through it because I don't want the torture anymore. And as difficult and as torturous seeming as it feels to gain weight, that's just nothing compared to looking back on where I've been. So I just, I don't want to discount the difficulty of going through with the rest of the recovery process, but it just is worth it to me to deal with that than to live like this. This has been such a circumscribed and shrunken part of my life. I just want to kind of move on. So that said, I created this channel again for those of us who are out there going, but I'm old and I'm short, or whatever kind of weird reason that goes along with that. Because I wanted to offer yet more support for keeping going. We can kind of look at this as an experiment for those of us who've had it a little bit longer, that it may take a little longer to keep eating and keep making sure that we get all that stuff down and resting. Rest. Yes, that means you might get a little antsy watching 3 hours in a row of Netflix and then getting up to go to the bathroom and then watching another 3 hours of it, but that may be about where you are for a while. So I wanted to offer support for folks who are saying, but what, here I am, and I don't think I should be doing this. And I think you should be. I think you should be sitting there watching Netflix, and I think you should be eating what that little primal brain is asking for, and it's not emotional. If you're coming from the kind of background that I know and that I know then it's not emotional, it's not boredom, no, it's primal, and it's your body asking. So that said, I'm now going to segue into, what is your favorite Australian musician? Okay, so I know that came out of the blue, but it's time to move on. and get into the music part. And you're wondering, why did I come up with this category? Well, I was driving along today, and I heard a song on the radio that I adore that is by an Australian musician, Australian group from the 80s called Crowded House. The song is called Don't Dream It's Over. If you're young, you probably know that song anyway because it's a standard classic now. So love that song. I can not tell you how perfect a pop song I think that is. But you may not like it, that's all right. But that gave me the idea to ask, what is your favorite, or who is your favorite Australian musician? And now that can go back to like Olivia Newton-John, Little River Band, Crowded House, or you can be thinking more modern day like Tame Impala, or Amy Sharp, or Keith Urban. I know I tend to forget country music, and I'm so sorry. I live in Nashville, for God's sakes, and I always forget country music. So yeah, country fans, shout at me and let me know. But who from Australia is your favorite musician, or name a few? Now I'm going to tell you mine, just because I get to do it and want to. My favorite Australian musician is dun-da-da, Men at Work. From the 1980s, they are my go-to Australian band, and that is because my first concert that I ever went to in my life was when I was 12 years old in 1982, and that was Men at Work right here in Nashville. So shout out to Men at Work. They didn't have a whole lot of hits in the United States, but the hits they had were Monster, and they too are now part of the classic pop idiom. So that's my thumbs up favorite Australian band. So let me know yours, and anything else that you want to know, or that you're curious about, or you need to comment about, or anything like that. But I think it's time I ended here, and with that I will say sign out and take care. Thanks. Bye.